All right, let's get cracking, shall we? You know how it is. We've all been there. You spend ages, weeks even, crafting what you think is the perfect project plan. It is a thing of beauty, a masterpiece of logic. You present it, everyone's nodding along, and then, bam, reality hits. And within a fortnight, the whole thing has gone completely sideways. 1 minute, it's this beautiful, pristine Gantt chart. And the next, it is a proper dog's dinner. A complete mess, looking like it's been cobbled together by a committee of chimps. It looked so brilliant on paper, didn't it? But out in the real world, it just fell apart. Now, if you're studying for that PMI SP exam, you know the pressure is on to get this stuff right. So what on earth is going on?
Well, here it is. This is the absolute heart of the matter. The problem isn't always your plan. It's often that you're using the wrong type of plan for the job at hand. The most important thing to get your head around is this. Your scheduling approach has got to be tailored to your project's life cycle. It is not one size fits all.
Okay, let's dive into this properly. Think of this as a bit of a guided tour of the scheduling world. And our first stop is the most traditional destination you can imagine, the highly structured, very organized world of predictive projects. You probably know it as waterfall. Now, to really get our heads around this, we're going to use a brilliant analogy. I want you to think of predictive planning as a train journey. Simple, right? You've got a fixed route, you've booked your seats, and there's a detailed timetable before you even leave the station. Your whole job is to make sure that train sticks to that timetable no matter what. We'll get to the kitchen in a bit, but for now, just hold that train idea in your head. So, how does this train journey actually work in practice? Well, it's a very linear, step-by-step process. You figure out absolutely everything up front, the scope, the time, the cost. You then build this massive, all-encompassing, integrated master schedule. You lock that down as your formal baseline. That's your stake in the ground. And then you execute. And any changes? Oh, they have to go through a strict, formal process. No mucking about.
And the engine that's driving this whole train is the critical path method, or CPM. Now, this is pure gold for your PMI SP exam, so listen up. It's the technique that finds the longest sequence of tasks, which in turn dictates the project's total length. It is the absolute backbone of predictive scheduling. It tells you where you have a bit of wiggle room, what we call float, and more importantly, where you have absolutely none.
Right, train journey done. Let's move on. See what's next. Our next stop is a completely different kettle of fish. Welcome to the controlled chaos of the Agile kitchen, where constant change isn't some problem to be stamped out, it's just another Tuesday. See, in the Agile kitchen, you don't have a massive year-long schedule. No way. Instead, you have a completely different set of tools to manage time. You've got your menu, that's the product backlog, and you cook in short, intense bursts called sprints. The key thing here is you're not managing a fixed plan, you are managing the flow of orders, making sure the kitchen never gets overwhelmed. And this brings us to a really fundamental shift in thinking. It's all about something called time boxing. So instead of asking, how long will this one specific task take, you flip it on its head and ask, how much can we realistically get done in our fixed 2-week sprint? The whole unit of scheduling flips from the task to the time box itself. It's a total change in mindset, and it's absolutely crucial. Of course, in the real world, most of us don't live in these pure, separate worlds, do we? We live somewhere in between. So our next stop is the hybrid world, where you try to get the best of both. You can think of it as having the train's fixed departure and arrival times, but with totally flexible seating arrangements inside the carriages. And here it is, really in a nutshell. You use that rigorous, predictive train journey approach for your big, non-negotiable contract dates. But for the actual work of building the thing, you use the flexible, responsive kitchen approach with agile cycles. The real trick, the real skill, is making these two worlds talk to each other. You might have a high-level master schedule in MS Project for the senior stakeholders, while your dev teams are living and breathing in Jira. The challenge for the modern project controller is to bridge that gap, translating sprint progress into meaningful updates on the master plan, without driving everyone completely mad. It's a true balancing act. Okay, so we understand the different worlds, but what do we actually use? It's time to pop out back and have a look in the Project Controller's toolshed to see what we've got. Because as any good tradesperson will tell you, you need the right tool for the right job. First up is a real classic, PERT. This is your best mate when you're staring at a piece of work and you have absolutely no idea how long it's really going to take. Instead of just plucking one number out of thin air, you give 3, the best case, the worst case, and what you reckon is the most likely. It's a fantastic way of formally acknowledging that we live in a world of uncertainty. Let's make that real for a second. Let's say we're installing some switchgear. Best case scenario, everything goes perfectly, 4 days. Most likely, you hit a few minor snags, 6 days. Worst case? Well, everything that can go wrong does go wrong, 10 days. Simple as that. So the question is, how do we turn those 3 numbers into a single usable estimate? Well, we use the magic formula. You add the optimistic plus 4 times the most likely, and then the pessimistic. And you divide the whole lot by 6. Bob's your uncle, you get 6.33 days. And you'll notice how it's weighted towards the most likely outcome, which, when you think about it, makes perfect sense. But, and this is so important, please get this, here is the massive health warning. This number is not a promise. It is not something you can wave in front of your boss and say, this is guaranteed. No, it is a risk-aware input for your schedule model. It's the start of a conversation about risk, not the end of it. Now, let's talk about software. For your big predictive train journeys, think major infrastructure projects, you'll be using the heavy machinery, like Primavera P6 or MS Project. That's for your hardcore critical path method and baseline control. But for the fast-paced agile kitchen, you're looking at tools like Jira, which are built from the ground up for managing backlogs and sprints. Honestly, using the wrong one is like trying to flip a pancake with a sledgehammer. Theory is all well and good, isn't it? But let's see how this all plays out on the front line. We're going to take a quick look at some massive UK projects to see these concepts in the wild, where the stakes are, frankly, eye-wateringly high. Let's take HS2, for example. This quote perfectly captures the immense pressure of predictive, milestone-driven scheduling on a true mega project. They have a hard end date that they simply must hit, and the entire mind-bogglingly complex schedule is being resequenced to try and make that happen. This is the critical path method on a national scale. So, what's the takeaway for you as a project controller in training? Well, first, mega projects are absolutely brutal on weak assumptions. Second, what gets called a schedule reset is often just reality finally catching up with some early optimism bias. And this is precisely why you absolutely must master techniques like Monte Carlo risk analysis and run what-if scenarios. They are not optional extras on a big project. They are essential for survival. Right then, last orders at the bar. Let's bring all this home and focus squarely on what you need to know to go in and nail those exams. This is your rapid-fire revision guide for the PMISP and the Level 6 standard. So here's the PMISP exam blueprint. And as you can see, the real big-ticket items are planning and development and monitoring and controlling. Look at that. That's basically 2/3 of the entire exam right there. This tells you exactly where to focus your revision efforts. It's all about building the schedule properly in the first place and then keeping the thing on the rails.
And for the Level 6 standard, these are the key bits of knowledge, skills, and behaviors that we've really touched on today. Understanding life cycles, managing baselines, integrating risk, and, this is the big one, creating credible schedules. It's about being a professional who can be trusted to tell the truth about the forecast, even when it's not what people want to hear.
So, let's end with this one thought. The next time you sit down to plan a project, I want you to ask yourself this one crucial question. Are you just drawing a pretty picture, a list of dates that makes everyone feel good for a week, or are you creating a robust, dynamic model of reality that can actually guide your team to success? That, right there, is the difference between an amateur and a pro. Good luck.